All right, welcome everyone. So in this video, I'm about to share the 8 key rules you need to go from skinny to jacked. So I started out as a skinny kid a couple of years ago, and for me, it was always very, very hard to put on muscle until I made these 8 key switches. This is where I finally started to see some good results. The first thing we need to understand is that most skinny guys actually think they're doing everything right. They're lifting, they're eating a lot, they're training hard, but they still look the same year after year. And I was there too. And the reason it's not genetics and it's also not your frame is that you're breaking these rules without realizing it. So if you fix these, you will see some noticeable changes. Let's get right into it. So the first rule is eating a lot doesn't mean eating enough. The thing is, most skinny guys say, I eat so much, but they don't realize that they're just eating randomly. And if you're not gaining weight, you are not eating enough. Your body doesn't care how full you feel, it cares about the calories you actually consume. So you need to be in a calorie surplus that you can actually sustain. So here are a few key things that you can do daily. First of all is track your current weight. If the scale isn't going up half a pound per week, increase your calories by 250 to 300. All right, so rule number 2 is you're not training close enough to failure. Most people think they train hard, but they actually don't. Muscle only grows when you force it to adapt, and that happens within the last 1 or 2 reps of failure. So if you finish a set and you could have done a few more reps, then you're not training hard enough. Growth happens when the set actually challenges you. So most of the times you don't need more exercises, but you simply just need harder sets. Rule number 3, stop changing programs every few weeks. You don't need a new split. What you need is progression, because muscle is built by doing the same things over and over again. You can either increase your reps, you can go for heavier weight, or you can just simply focus on better execution. So what I would recommend is that you stick to a program for at least 8 to 12 weeks and you track your lifts consistently. This way you can seriously make progress because you're not just changing up your programs every 1 or 2 weeks or doing random exercises. Because if you keep changing plans, then your body can never adapt. That is why it's so important to stick to workout program for at least 8 to 12 weeks. Rule number 4, protein matters, but calories matter more. So yes, protein is important, but protein without calories are not going to give you the physique that you want. So if you're skinny, your calories determine your weight gain, and protein determines what that weight becomes. So aim for around 1 gram protein per pound of body weight, and then build your calories around that. And the thing here is, protein shakes only help if you overall have a sustainable diet. If you're eating shit all day, then protein shakes are not going to save you. Rule number 5, sleep is not optional. Man, when I tell you guys, I have been struggling with this for a long time in the past because I was treating my sleep like it's not a job, but it actually is. Sleep is just as important as your training and your nutrition, so you should definitely not underestimate the power sleep has. Because you don't grow when you're in the gym, you grow when you sleep. So if you're consistently sleeping under 7 hours, right, there are a few side effects that you will experience. First of all, your testosterone drops, your cortisol rises, and your recovery is just overall going to be way slower if you don't take care of your sleep. So even if you train perfectly, you go to the gym 4 or 5 times per week, and you eat clean, make sure that you consistently get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. This is a non-negotiable. All right, rule number 6 is you're doing too much, not too little. I can say this from my own experience because when I started my fitness journey, I was going to the gym 7 days per week thinking I'm going to get better results. When the truth is, most of the times you're going to achieve more by doing less and by doing more of what already works. So more workouts are not going to mean more growth. And that is a problem that I believe most skinny guys have because I had it too, right? So you want to stop training too often and you want to stop focusing on too much volume. You need the right volume, right? And if you're doing anywhere from like more than 15 sets per muscle group, you're already doing too much. So stick to 3 to 5 sessions per week, focus on high intensity when you hit the gym, and you need enough recovery to actually grow. So if you're always sore, you always feel tired, and you're never progressing, that is a sign that you're doing too much. All right, rule number 7, stop trusting the mirror. Look, because the thing is, if you only trust the mirror and you make decisions based on if you feel like you grow or not, this is where a lot of skinny guys stop sticking to the plan because now they start to quit too early or they bulk too aggressively. That is where you have to have patience and you cannot only trust what you see in the mirror. But there are a few couple of things that you should definitely track, and that is your body weight, so you can see how your body weight is actually evolving. So you can see how your body weight is actually evolving. Then you always, then you also want to, then you also want to track your strength progression, and you want to take monthly progress photos. This will help you to see if you actually made progress in a single month. And if your lifts are going up and your weight is slowly increasing, that means you're growing, even if the mirror doesn't show that yet. If you have data, then you know if you're actually making progress. And rule number 8, which is going to be the last one, give the process enough time. I see so many guys, they start their fitness journey and they expect results way too fast. But this is a marathon and not a sprint. When you think long term, you give yourself enough room to actually embrace your full potential. And this is what kills most people's progress. They train hard for maybe 3 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe a few months, but then they quit. But look at this from a different perspective. Who can you become in 1 year from now on, 2 years from now on, if you just show up every single day? And you don't have to show up to the gym every single day, but you have to show up with the mindset that you're going to do something every single day, right? And this is where a real transformation will happen over the next 6 to 12 months by you sticking to being consistent, being disciplined, right? You don't want to aim for perfection. That is another problem that I see a lot of people make, that they want to be perfect. But you're never going to be perfect. At the end of the day, it is all about momentum. How much momentum can you actually keep over long enough time? And that's basically it. If you implement these 8 key rules, you're definitely going to see noticeable changes within your fitness journey, right? So these are things that I implemented myself. So start focusing on these 8 key rules, and I promise you, you're going to see way better results. And with these words, I'm out. Peace.